What really causes autism? It's a question surrounded by so much confusion and misinformation. If you've ever wondered about the science behind it, you're in the right place. Today, we're cutting through the noise to give you the clear, evidence-based answers you've been looking for. Let's explore what decades of research have taught us about the origins of autism. First and foremost, let's talk about the biggest piece of the puzzle: genetics. Autism has a very strong genetic foundation. Think of it like this. Our genes are the instruction manual for how our bodies and brains are built. In autism, this manual has some unique variations. In fact, studies involving twins and families have shown that anywhere from 60 to 90% of the risk for autism comes directly from our genes. It's not as simple as one single autism gene, though that's a common misconception. Instead, it's a complex interplay of many different genes, potentially hundreds of them. These genes influence how the brain develops, how neurons connect and communicate with each other, and how information is processed. Some of these genetic variations are inherited from parents who may or may not be autistic themselves. Others are what we call de novo mutations, meaning they happen spontaneously for the first time in the child during very early development, even before birth. This genetic complexity is why autism presents so differently in each person. It's a spectrum. After all, now, while genes are the primary driver, they don't tell the whole story. Certain prenatal and environmental factors can also play a role, acting as influencers rather than direct causes. Imagine genetics loads the gun, and environment might, in some cases, pull the trigger. Researchers have identified several factors that could slightly increase the likelihood of autism when combined with a genetic predisposition. For example, advanced parental age, particularly the father's age at the time of conception, has been linked to a slightly higher risk. Complications during pregnancy, like severe maternal infections, extreme stress, or significant nutritional deficiencies, are also being studied. Exposure to high levels of certain environmental toxins, like air pollution, during pregnancy might also be a contributing factor. Additionally, events around the time of birth, such as being born very prematurely, having a very low birth weight, or experiencing a lack of oxygen, have shown a correlation. It's crucial to understand that none of these factors cause autism on their own. They are simply risk modifiers that, in a person already genetically predisposed, might nudge development in a particular direction. So, what do these genetic and environmental influences actually do? They shape how the brain grows and wires itself. Brain imaging studies have revealed fascinating differences in the autistic brain. One key area is neuronal connectivity. In some autistic individuals, there might be an overabundance of short-range connections within specific brain regions, but fewer long-range connections between different regions. This could help explain why some autistic people have incredible focus and skill in one area, but may find tasks that require integrating multiple types of information, like social conversation, more challenging. We also see differences in the growth patterns of certain brain areas. For example, some studies have shown an early overgrowth in brain size during the first year of life, followed by a slowing of growth. The regions most affected are often those involved in social interaction, language processing, and sensory perception. These brain differences don't happen after birth. They begin to form very early in fetal development, long before a child shows any behavioral signs. This confirms that autism is a neurodevelopmental condition, meaning it's rooted in the way the brain develops from the very start. Now, let's address what absolutely does not cause autism. It's vital to debunk the harmful myths that have caused so much fear and stigma. The most persistent myth is that vaccines cause autism. This is unequivocally false. This idea came from a single fraudulent study published over 2 decades ago that has since been retracted, and its author lost his medical license. Since then, dozens of large-scale, credible studies involving millions of children around the world have been conducted. The conclusion is always the same. There is no link between vaccines and autism. None. Another damaging dated theory is the refrigerator mother myth from the mid-20th century. This idea cruelly blamed autism on cold, unemotional parenting. We now know this is completely untrue. Parenting style does not cause autism. It is not caused by emotional neglect or trauma. Autistic children are born with their unique neurotype. It is not created by their upbringing. So, to bring it all together, autism is a complex neurodevelopmental condition. But it's primarily caused by a combination of many genetic factors that influence early brain development. These genetic predispositions can sometimes be influenced by a handful of environmental and prenatal factors. It is not caused by vaccines, and it is definitely not caused by how someone is parented. Understanding the real causes helps us move away from blame and stigma and toward acceptance, support, and a celebration of neurodiversity. Thank you so much for joining me today to learn about this important topic. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content that clears up the confusion around science and health. We'll see you in the next one.